No one expected that Retsu Kaioh, once so full of pride and spirit, would end up in such a pathetic state. To reclaim his former confidence, he decided to visit a boxing gym and do some smurfing. But seeing him as nothing more than a lame cripple, the coach dismissively told him to get lost, mocking him for not even being able to budge a punching bag. This terrifying display of power left everyone speechless at that moment. The coach was dying of regret, but fearing he might further provoke this powerhouse, he had no choice but to reluctantly take him in. Word quickly spread about Retsu Kaioh exploding the punching bag, eventually reaching the ears of the middleweight champion, doubting such a person could actually exist, but driven by curiosity, he still wanted to challenge him to a match. Retsu flatly refused the invitation, because in his eyes, Mahito was simply too weak. If he accidentally killed him, it wouldn't be worth the trouble. Feeling insulted, Mahito threw on his gloves and arrogantly declared that Retsu was even allowed to use his legs. At those words, Retsu's patience finally ran out. I tried to give you an out, but you just had to push your luck. Aren't you just a dog diving into a latrine looking for trouble?
You might even call this enjoyable.
The moment Retsu called start, Mahito lunged forward with a heavy punch. However, he was far too slow. Retsu landed a blow to his face first. The sheer force sent him crashing to the floor. In an instant, Champ was turned into a total chump. Spectators rushed over to check on him. Luckily, he was just knocked unconscious. After this easy victory over a noob, Retsu's confidence finally began to return. He heartily mocked all the boxers there, claiming their boxing was no match for his martial arts. Hearing this, the defeated Mahito was indignant. Even though he had lost the fight, he still felt compelled to give Retsu a warning. I'm to a second junior book sale, taking in my stomach. To take Retsu Kaioh down a peg, the coach brought in a heavyweight boxer. He's not only a special forces veteran, but also an undefeated boxing champion. His massive build and fluid footwork, Retsu knew immediately that this man was a true master. And just as he suspected, with a single punch, the man sent him flying, leaving everyone on the scene in total shock. A long-awaited smirk finally appeared on the coach's face. Little did they know it was Retsu Kaioh who would have the last laugh. From that brief exchange, he had already spotted the opponent's weakness, his grip. The moment the man swung his fist, Retsu made an unthinkable move. He used his own head to intercept the punch. As the hardest bone in the human body, the forehead, smashing a fist that lacked a tight grip was for Retsu nothing but child's play. By now, the boxer's fingers were completely shattered. However, Retsu's real assault was only just beginning. He slowly closed in on the man, while counting down the seconds. Under the terrifying pressure, the boxer was drenched in sweat.
Boxing, let me show you. Dancing. Oh, now then, just how strong is Retsu Kaioh when he goes all out?
With just a casual swing, his punch pierced right through the glove. Light tap of his palms and the solid bricks were instantly pulverized, turning into dust in the blink of an eye. This guy is on another level. Absolutely legendary. Ever since Retsu Kaioh joined the boxing gym, he first one-shotted the middleweight Ma Rin, then floored the heavyweight Dongdong. Before long, this bombshell news rocked the entire boxing world. Even the legendary agent Caesar heard of his exploits and made a special trip to Japan just to witness Retsu Kaioh in person. The moment he stepped into the gym, everyone's eyes widened in disbelief. They never expected a big name like Caesar to visit such a small gym. Ignoring the crowd, Caesar walked straight up to Retsu Kaioh, staring at the man's perfect musculature, carved like a work of art. He couldn't stop exclaiming, "Beautiful." Despite being rebuked, Caesar didn't get angry at all. Instead, he bowed in apology to the Sea King and begged him to give a demonstration of his power to shake off this annoying pest. Retsu impatiently walked over to the glove rack and pulled a single glove onto his right hand. Caesar was unimpressed. After all, even a dog can hit a heavy bag with a glove on. But in the next heartbeat, Retsu Kaioh took a punching stance. Everyone's shocked with a simple flick of his fist. Retsu's piercing punch tore straight through the genuine leather glove. While the other boxers were marveling at his insane strength, Retsu was inwardly cursing his own hypocrisy. He knew perfectly well that the glove was old and worn out, and had chosen it specifically just to show off. But Caesar was already completely sold. He had never seen anyone so fierce that they could punch through a glove with a single straight. To a boxer, however, Gloves are sacred equipment. They represent a fighter's skill and glory. What Retsu did was undoubtedly an insult to the sport of boxing. But before Retsu could explain himself, Caesar immediately made a tempting offer. Didn't he want to use 40 years of Chinese martial arts to crush these arrogant, self-righteous boxers? These words immediately struck a chord with Retsu Kaioh's desire to show off. Lured by Caesar's silver-tongued persuasion, Retsu decided to follow him to the United States for an exhibition match. Little did he know the gears of his fate began to turn at that very moment. After a 2.5-hour journey, they finally arrived at the world-renowned boxing arena. At that moment, the former boxing champion had just secured a victory. As the crowd erupted in cheers for him, Caesar suddenly leaped into the ring. Then, he grabbed the microphone and announced that the 150-year tradition of boxing had met its greatest adversary today. As soon as he spoke, Retsu Kaioh vaulted into the ring, saying this inconspicuous cripple. The audience broke into a chorus of boos. The champion on stage was even more furious. He couldn't believe Caesar brought a nobody to steal his spotlight. Caesar was prepared, however, and placed a pile of stones on the stage. Though breaking them was a piece of cake for Retsu, it was meant to show the Americans the true mysteries of martial arts. But in the next second, the champion punched through a stone first, igniting a thunderous roar from the crowd. The champion blew on his fist and mockingly remarked that this little trick is something even my dog could do. These words undoubtedly enraged Retsu Kaioh.
How long? You are no fighter. Fighters do not embarrass us. Go into the ring. Whoever is in charge. Show them much more than that.